Hello! This video is for those who want to get maximum useful information in just 5 minutes. Here are the top 9 most necessary binds in the game Rust. Let's start. The first indispensable bind in Rust looks like this. All it does is occupy your crafting queue with items made from wood, stone, and metal. I think I don't need to explain to you why this is needed. The bind is suitable for all players because it crafts only default learned items and items with the longest crafting time to make cancelling crafting more convenient. Agree that cleaning up the inventory in a fight this way will be much easier than doing it manually. To save the changes, enter this command. All the commands from this video are already in the description. Enjoy! The second essential bind, in my opinion, is the bind for zooming. I've tried many different ways of setting up such a bind, and this one is the most convenient. Just enter this command, and now, when you press one of the side buttons on your mouse, you'll get a perfect zoom for easier enemy spotting. You can even use this bind while holding down the Alt key, which is very convenient and useful. The third command in my top list is for quickly changing the lookatradius. You might not even know what that is, but without this setting, playing Rust can sometimes become frustrating. For example, without lookatradius, you won't be able to upgrade a foundation like this one. Even if you're being raided and need to quickly upgrade your base, you won't be able to do it until you lower the lookatradius to the minimum. And in a situation like this, you'll need to raise lookatradius to the maximum. Otherwise, the door won't open. To avoid these settings ruining your gameplay, I recommend entering this complex command into the console. It alternately changes the lookatradius and reports the result directly in the in-game chat. When you need to reach a distant storage box or upgrade a frame that's hard to reach, simply lower the radius to the minimum. If you need to increase it, just press the key specified in the bind. In my case, it is the L key. To return the value to the default setting, just press this key again. We're not stopping at what we've achieved and moving on to the next bind. The next bind is a smart console. By entering this bind, you won't have to manually check your ping and look at the combat log anymore. The console will automatically show you this information every time you open it. Convenient? Of course it is. Another bind will allow us to easily loot enemy bodies and boxes. The default placement of the hoverloot key is useless. It's so far away from the main movement keys that by the time you reach the necessary key, you could be killed. Also, coordinating the position of the mouse and pressing keyboard keys isn't that convenient, so it's much better to bind hoverloot function to additional mouse buttons. Even if you don't have extra mouse buttons, you can still use the mouse wheel. Now, looting bodies will be much easier. Speaking of a default H key, you can use it for any other bind, like this one. Binds, when pressed, add a syringe or bandage to the crafting queue. The first bind is useful when you are in a hurry to run out of the house to beat someone's face, and the second is necessary at an early wipe, when everyone is fighting with bows. And the result of the fight may depend on the speed of crafting bandages. Do you know that a regular bind for suicide can be much more useful than just kill button? First of all, I wouldn't recommend having a regular bind with the kill button. Your hand might cramp, or a cat might jump on your keyboard, but eventually you'll accidentally kill yourself at the time you shouldn't. It's so easy to protect yourself. Add a combination of keys to the bind. Now by pressing delete and shift at the same time, your character will commit suicide, and you definitely won't accidentally press that combination. You can even make this bind cooler by adding an auto spawn to a specific sleeping bag. Yes, you'll have to change this bind every wipe, but it saves a lot of time on respawn. To set it up, place a bed or a sleeping bag and damage it. Now using one of the previous binds, check the bed's ID, copy it, and paste it into this bind. Now when the cooldown on your bed expires, pressing kill will instantly teleport you to a warm bed. Cheesy? Yes, cheesy. But why are you still watching it? Open the game, my friend! And don't forget to write in the comments which of the binds I mentioned you consider essential and add your own binds to my list.